Hello everyone, Orionsgear here. With a new and updated Week 2 Incarnon on the horizon, I thought it'd be topical to present a guide on making the best decision for which Gorgon to put the Incarnon adapter on. Firstly, I'd like to acknowledge that despite using and mastering all the Gorgon variants, I have only used the Prisma variant for an extended period of time, and with that in mind, let's continue. So, to establish where I found all my information, I sought out the Oracle of Warframe, if you will, a place where all information related to weapons, frames, and much more can be found. That's the Warframe wiki. And after diving into the stats head first, I found some interesting comparisons to provide you all. But before we establish these, please refer to the description down below for a link on how Riven disposition works, and I'd recommend you scroll down a little bit in the page. I also took the liberty of grabbing more important values. However, if you do want to know more about reload speed, magazine size, burst and sustained DPS, so on and so on, in the Gorgons, I'd recommend you check out the Warframe weapon comparison link in the description below. The Prisma Gorgon, primarily weighted in 75% impact, has a high base critical chance of 30% with a reasonable 2.3 times crit multiplier. If you choose, I'd recommend you use the mod Point Strike to increase the critical chance to a whopping 75%, or Galvanized Scope, when at maximum stacks, grants a bonus of 89% critical chance on headshot. As a bullet hose, these are really nice stats, but with the main forced element of impact, you can use the mod Internal Bleeding to proc slash more often. The fire rate is nothing to snuff at either, with a 14 round per second fire rate, which puts the Prisma variant well ahead of its counterparts. The stat chance is fairly average, sitting at 15%, so I'd be prepared to put your flavor of 60-60 status chance mod onto it, these being Malignant Force, Rhyme rounds, High Voltage, or Thermite rounds. The disposition on this one is the lowest of all three variants, sitting at 1.3, and the Prisma Gorgon is the only accessible from Burrow, the Void Trader, or can be bought on the marketplace. It is also only accessible to players who are MR11 and up. The Wraith variant has the highest chance to force impact at 85% compared to the others at 75%. The same rules apply for all types of Gorgon variant, as you would only want to use the impact damage with internal damage to force slash damage. Its fire is lower compared to its cousins, and the same is applied to the critical chance and critical damage, sitting at 15% and 1.9 times respectively. However, the Wraith does make a comeback with a 21% status chance and even higher Riven disposition to the Prisma, sitting at 1.35. The Gorgon Wraith can be bought in parts from other players in the market, or can be farmed from the Razorback Invasion event, and the weapon can be used by players MR7 and up. The base Gorgon, being the most common variant, can only drop from any planet that Grineers spawn on, with the same main element of 75% impact that is the same as the Prisma version. It has a relatively low fire rate sitting at the bottom at 12 rounds per second, a relatively low critical chance at 17% base, and low critical multiplier of 1.5, and a low status chance sitting at a measly 9%. However, this little green stick has an ace up its sleeve, with the Riven disposition being the highest of all three variants, sitting at 1.4 times, as well as being highly accessible to players MR3 and up. Now, with all of that out of the way, which should you pick? Now, despite the base variant having a higher disposition, which incentivizes Riven usage along with the Incarnon adapter and form, I'd still personally use the Prisma variant, as its base stats are much better. However, this doesn't mean that you shouldn't pick the Wraith variant. Despite it having lower stats than the Prisma in all categories apart from status chance and main element, there's potential for a status and Riven build to it. And with that being said, thank you very much for watching this to the very end. I hope you all have a fantastic day. Goodbye.